everybody. We'll give people about a minute and then we'll get rolling. Hey, Lynn. All right. So let's just sink into the room. Let the imagery of this actual moment fill the screen of your mind as you just arrive. Arrive in this moment. Breathe in this moment. Nothing to push away. A simple arrival. Now, as always, if there's anything anyone would like discussed, you're welcome to put it into the chat and we'll make sure to work it in. Otherwise, we'll just see where the night takes us. So, attention at the forehead and crown. Leave your eyes open, but just let them fall to a spot in front of you or on the floor. Just anchor them. And we're just going to begin to breathe. As you breathe in, you're right there with that inhale. As you exhale, you're riding that exhale all the way down. You're breathing in every moment of your life. The only thing different about this moment is you're going to show up for that breath. Show up for this moment, this breathing, living moment. And as other moments come in to steal your attention, just don't play with them. Return to this moment. If it feels boring, let it be boring. If it feels uncomfortable, show up for that discomfort. Just let it all be present, exactly as it is. there's a kind of squirrely energy. Nothing you have to do about it. Just let it sit in the vast context of this moment. This moment is 99.999% wide, empty space. A vast emptiness that is pregnant with every possibility that could ever be. Let it all sit in that vast context as you breathe in and breathe out. This complex web of stories that goes by your name, that looks so solid, is mostly empty space. You don't have to reject it. Just let it sit in that giant, vast context. In the big picture of life. Nothing needs to happen. In the big picture of life, you are already complete. There's nothing to attain. Nothing to fight against. Let that vast eternity touch your awareness. Make itself known. To see that, you have to stop all pushing and pulling, all rushing and blocking. You have to stop conjuring your needs onto the screen of life so that you can see what's actually there. And no matter what is happening in your life or the lives of people around you, when you see what's actually there, it's good news. That doesn't mean you're going to get what you want the way your personality wants it. Doesn't even mean you're going to survive. It just means that none of that was ever the object of this game. that you already have everything you could ever need to attain you. That everything you're reaching for, either correctly or incorrectly, either through healthy means or through drugs, alcohol, and sex, is already yours. It's just a simple shift in the attention. It's not even something you have to find. You just have to stop covering it up with all of your nonsense. I think every name in this room has probably seen that by now. Had those moments where just sitting in a class like this, all of a sudden everything is okay, even if none of the stories are resolved. It just lifts off. Because it wasn't real. It wasn't what was wrong. What was wrong was that you had forgotten reality. So let's just sit in reality together tonight. Just the simplicity of our breath. Just let the moment be what it is, rather than telling it what it should be, rather than painting our needs and expectations on that canvas. Recognize that the canvas itself, as it is already complete. And just show up for it. Show up with your eyes. Let your eyes take in the whole room at once. Show up with your ears. Listen deeply. Listen as if you're on the edge of your seat. Listen so intently that you can hear the wind currents in the clouds above your head. Show up with your feeling. Be aware of the feelings moving through your nervous system. Be aware of the feelings on your skin. And let it be that simple. I often say slow yourself way down. slow down. But what that really means is stop pushing your way forward. Stop racing forward with expectation. Stop covering up the moment with a feeling of racing. But the way to get a student there is to say, slow down. It's good, guys. You're getting there faster these days. Sit in this space. Don't ask it to be anything different. Don't ask it to entertain you. Stay here and let the gifts of this moment build. Relax your skin. Soften your senses. Let it in. It's not outside of you. It's just a story. It is you. Stop splitting yourself and let it in. Stop splitting yourself and recognize that there is no inside and outside. There is no you and me. You don't come here to find me. You come here to find you. And it's easier when you come here because my awareness of that is your awareness. It spills into you because there's no separation. I can speak to how you're doing because I feel you moving inside of me. So that peace that you feel hovering around you is not actually separate from you. What you're seeing is you. What you're feeling is you. To let it in is to let go of the story of separation. To relax within that reality is to have all of life's resources at your fingertips. It's all yours. It's all mine. Because there is no you and me. When any one of you steps forward, we all step forward. When your awareness grows, all of our capabilities grow. Because there is no you and me. Your stories are your dogma. A filter that limits what's possible. But this moment is free of that. Show up for this moment and be free. Your stories provide the illusion of separation. Many illusions of separation. And because the illusion is incorrect, and because you believe in it, you behave in mistaken ways. We do unnecessary damage. We take opportunities to heal and use them to harm. If we have spiritual stories, which in many ways are worse, then we try to do the opposite. We try to heal, but in doing so, we create a story where we are the healer and the other person is a victim. It's interesting, isn't it? For me to be that big, you have to be that small. For me to be concave, you have to be convex in the world of the stories. From the world of the story, you can't help somebody without defining them in an opposite state. For someone to be a saint, they have to create a bunch of sinners. For someone to be chaste, they have to create a bunch of whores. And they get to feel good about themselves. But they did it through the story. So it's not real. And it creates its opposite. And yet, if instead you just show up for the moment, the simplicity of this moment, and just let it show you what it is, you'll have people step onto the screen of your life And you'll feel them resonating inside of you. If they're in pain, that's a part of you that's in pain. And so what you emanate is something very different than if you have a story that there's something separate from you. You emanate an antidote. There are people who aren't ready for that antidote. And those people usually need to spend time away from you, and that happens. It's okay. They have a place. They'll step closer to the people with antidotes as they're ready to make themselves vulnerable to healing. Doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. You certainly don't need to permit abuse. Quite the contrary, really. You don't have to nice everybody out of their life lessons. Usually, if you're doing that, you're stuck in a story where you get to be the nice one. But how much better to just show up. What that person is will play through you and come out of your mouth, and they'll be able to see themselves. And in that moment, an alchemical change happens that wakes them up just a little bit. Depending on where they're at, that might look like an anger response. But in that anger response, they start working with a more complete picture through their resistance to it, funnily enough. Do you see the difference? I'm always saying things people don't want to hear. But I'm reflecting their reality back to them. So they get upset with me, but I see it as my job. I see it as my job in a class like this. I see it as my job as the person running the guidelines in my field. People need an accurate reflection in the mirror of life. But you give them that not out of some sense of charity, but because that's a part of you that has the lights turned off. And so you shine a light. If your hand's on fire, you put out your hand. You don't say, oh, thank God that's not me. I'm the head. As I sit here in these classes, I just watch everything clean up. I don't run around scouring it. But just being present and honest in the moment, it spreads. It spreads into you, you spread into each other, and it magnifies. And the clarity comes out no matter how tired I am or what my day was like. It's been that way every class I've taught for 20 years. It's the power of not doing, the power of non-manipulation. The power of looking life dead in the eye, not hiding from any of it, not hiding yourself from any of it. Are there any questions about any of that? Then let's just step back into this moment. Just show up and breathe and let it be exactly what it is. How much more can you relax and let go into this moment? How much more can you unfold and expand and surrender yourself to the rhythm of this precise moment in time? Really, this moment out of time, out of the story of time. That part of you that thinks you have to close back up is just a story. That part of you looking ahead to the end of this, it's just a story. All it's doing is keeping you from this moment. I promise you the session will end. You leave that to me. You sit here as if you just got here. Open up as if you have always opened and will always be open. Show up for this moment and be available. There you go. Use your breath to focus yourself. That moment of wanting things to be done, that's actually a gateway moment. If you simply return to letting your mind wander around, then you don't step forward. If instead you stay open and face the discomfort, on the other side of that, there's a whole other level of awareness. You can do it. Give all of us that gift. Open back up. When you close the curtain, it tugs on all of our curtains because it's just one curtain. This week, I want you to carry with you an awareness of your connection to the people in your life. Every feeling you indulge yourself in, every good or bad decision, I want you to carry an awareness that you're making that decision for everybody who's connected to you. Your loved ones, your enemies, your frenemies, everything in between. Your children, your parents. Whatever you indulge in pulls on everyone. And I want you to make a few choices this week for the good of everyone. If you feel alone, you are not alone. Everybody is flowing through you, and you're flowing through everybody. It matters what you do. It matters what you think. It matters what you say. So carry that with you this week. There's probably some realizations in there for you. Any questions before we end the session? Okay. Great work tonight. I will see you all next Thursday. Bye-bye. Thank you.